Sikhism, literally the way of the Guru, emerged in the Punjab region of South Asia in the late 15th century under Guru Nanak Dev, who lived from 1469 to 1539. The very term Sikh means learner in Punjabi, and this new faith quickly took on a distinctive identity. It was monotheistic like Islam, yet drew on Hindu Bhakti, or devotional traditions, emphasizing strong social egalitarian ideals. As symbolized by an 18th century cavalry cuirass engraved with a portrait of Guru Nanak, Sikhism combined spiritual devotion with martial valor. By the early 21st century, Sikhs numbered roughly 25 million worldwide, with nearly all residing in the Punjab. Yet their origins lie in this unique syncretic movement rather than any single ancient ethnicity. Modern research indicates that Sikhs share the mixed ancestry common to the Punjab region, with about half their genes tracing to ancient Indus Valley peoples and the remainder to later Eurasian migrations. In sum, Sikh identity arose locally in the Punjab, blending spiritual ideas from across South Asia with the historical circumstances of the late medieval era. The Punjab, known as the Land of Five Rivers, has historically been a crossroads of cultures. The ancient Harappan or Indus Valley civilization flourished here between approximately 2600 and 1900 BCE. But recent DNA evidence suggests those people carried no steppe or Indo-European ancestry. Prehistoric Punjab was populated by indigenous South Asians related to ancient hunter-gatherers and incoming farmers from Iran, but not by later Indo-Aryans. It was only after 2000 BCE that steppe-derived Indo-European pastoralists arrived. Consequently, the deep ancestry of Punjabis, including modern Sikhs, is complex, combining local South Asian lines with West Eurasian components from Iranian, Neolithic, and steppe sources in roughly equal parts. By the medieval period, the Punjab was situated at the edge of successive empires. Hindu and Buddhist kingdoms had long been influential, and from the 12th century onwards, the region experienced waves of Turkic and Afghan conquests, bringing Islam. Nonetheless, local folk traditions, including Sant Bhakti movements, remained strong. Renowned Punjabi Sufi saints like Baba Farid, who lived from 1170 to 1266, were active, but most scholars agree that by Nanak's time, Sikhism's roots lay chiefly in the Nirguni, or formless god, Bhakti tradition of North India. Guru Nanak himself came from a Hindu Khatri, or merchant caste, family, yet he preached a message that explicitly rejected caste barriers and inherited ritual. Early Sikh thinkers were thus heirs to the egalitarian and devotional ethos of saints like Kabir and Namdev, even as Islamic influence, such as Persian vocabulary, enriched the cultural background. As the Encyclopedia Britannica notes, although some have suggested Islamic or Sufi influence on the Punjabi Sant movement, the evidence is considered marginal, with the Sikh founders drawing far more on indigenous forms of monotheistic devotion. Guru Nanak Dev, the universally acknowledged founder of Sikhism, was born in 1469 at Nankana Sahib in present-day Pakistan. He traveled widely, including to Mecca, Baghdad, Nepal, and South India, composing hymns asserting one formless God, denouncing social inequality, and affirming the equality of all humans. Nanak's teachings emphasized Nam Japo, remember God's name, Kirat Karo, honest labor, and Vand Chako, share one's earnings, reflecting both devotional and moral disciplines. According to Sikh tradition, he appointed Bhai Lehna, later known as Guru Angad, as his successor, thereby inaugurating the line of 10 gurus. Guru Angad, who led from 1539 to 1552, solidified Sikh identity by further organizing the community. He standardized the Gurmukhi script for writing Punjabi, ensuring Nanak's teachings could be accurately recorded. Guru Angad also continued Nanak Awai's work of setting up preaching centers known as manjis and promoting community education. His successors continued expanding the faith. Guru Amar Das, who was guru from 1552 to 1574, famously established the practice of langar, community kitchens serving free meals to all, to break down caste barriers, and instituted formal congregational gatherings, including on Baisakhi, for unity. Guru Ram Das, who led from 1574 to 1581, founded the city of Amritsar, where the sacred pool Amrit Sarovar was dug, making it a center of pilgrimage. The fifth Guru, Arjan Dev, who served from 1581 to 1606, was pivotal. He completed the Golden Temple, or Harmandir Sahib, at Amritsar, and in 1604 compiled the first official Sikh scripture, the Adi Granth. Importantly, Arjan included not only the hymns of the Sikh Gurus, but also those of many Hindu and Muslim devotional poets, known as Bhagats, in the Granth, symbolizing Sikhism's inclusive spirituality. The Granth was installed in the Harmandir Sahib for worship. Arjan also reformed community organization, suggesting Sikhs set aside 1/10 of their income, called dasvand, for the community, and he built additional langar kitchens and Gurdwaras from these funds. The martyrdom of Guru Arjan marked a significant turning point. Accused by Mughal Emperor Jahangir of aiding his rebellious son, Arjan was tortured and executed in 1606 after refusing to convert to Islam. This persecution propelled the Sikh community to take up arms in self-defense. His son, Guru Hargobind, who was guru from 1606 to 1644, transformed Sikhism into a saint-warrior tradition. Hargobind famously donned 2 swords at his 1606 succession ceremony, symbolizing Miri, temporal power, and Piri, spiritual authority, and he built an armed Akal Sena, or immortal army, of Sikh horsemen. In 1609, Guru Hargobind established the Akal Takht, or Throne of the Timeless One, at Amritsar. This fortified temple served as the highest seat of Sikh temporal authority, where spiritual and worldly matters were jointly governed. Hargobind's militarization of the Khalsa was widely noted. He is credited with giving the Sikh religion its military character, fulfilling the wishes of his martyred father. He personally trained in martial arts, such as swordsmanship and horse riding, and led Sikhs in battles against Mughal forces. Emperor Jahangir viewed this rising Sikh power as a threat, and Hargobind was imprisoned for about a decade. After his release, the Sikh military stirrings only intensified. The ninth Guru, Tegh Bahadur, who was guru from 1664 to 1675, also became a martyr. When the Mughal emperor, Aurangzeb, demanded mass conversions of non-Muslims, Tegh Bahadur defended Hindus in Kashmir and refused to convert to Islam. In 1675, Aurangzeb arrested and executed him. His death galvanized the Sikhs, and his son, Gobind Rai, the 10th Guru, vowed rebellion. Guru Gobind Singh, who led from 1675 to 1708, gave Sikh identity its final definition. In April 1699, on the festival of Baisakhi, Gobind Singh held a dramatic ceremony at Anandpur Sahib. After asking for volunteers ready to sacrifice themselves for the faith, 5 young Sikhs, known as the Panj Pyar, or 5 beloved ones, stepped forward and were initiated. Gobind Singh baptized them with sweetened water, stirred by a double-edged sword, inaugurating the Khalsa, the community of the fully initiated Sikhs. From this moment, all initiated Sikh men took the surname Singh, meaning lion, and women took the surname Kaur, meaning princess, and they were bound by the 5 Ks: uncut hair, kesh; a comb, kangha; wooden breeches, kacha; a steel bracelet, kara; and a small sword, kirpan. The Khalsa was explicitly casteless and egalitarian. Gobind Singh described it as the pure of God, rejecting the old Hindu caste hierarchy. Importantly, the Khalsa also pledged to establish its own sovereignty, known as Khalsa Raj, in Punjab. After 1708, the line of living gurus ended as Gobind Singh declared the Guru Granth Sahib, the expanded scripture, the eternal guru of the Sikhs. Meanwhile, Sikh military bands, later called missals, continued to fight both Mughals and invading Afghans. The Sikhs gradually wrested control of the Punjab in the 18th century. In 1799, Ranjit Singh, who lived from 1780 to 1839 and was chieftain of the Sukerchakia Missal, conquered Lahore, and in 1801 was proclaimed Maharaja of a united Sikh Empire. Ranjit Singh built a secular, modernizing state. At its height between 1818 and 1839, the empire extended from the Khyber Pass to the Sutlej River and from Kashmir to Sindh. He largely ended religious discrimination in his realm and recruited Hindus and Muslims as advisors while maintaining a large Sikh army. Ranjit Singh's empire dissolved soon after his death. Intense infighting led to weak leadership. The British East India Company, which was then expanding northward, clashed with the weakened Sikhs in two Anglo-Sikh wars. The First War, from 1845 to 1846, was disastrous for the Punjab army. By the Treaty of Lahore in 1846, Sikh territory east of the Sutlej was ceded to the British, and Kashmir and Jammu were handed to a British ally. The Second War, from 1848 to 1849, followed a Sikh rebellion in Multan. Fierce battles at Ramnagar and Chilianwala culminated in the decisive British victory at Gujarat in February 1849. Sikh forces surrendered in March 1849, and the British annexed the entire Punjab. The Sikh Empire was dissolved, and the Punjab became part of British India under direct rule. Under colonial rule, Sikhs rapidly reorganized their religious institutions. Reformers launched the Singh Sabha movement in the late 19th century, reviving Gurmat, or the Guru's way, and standardizing Sikh theology. They established schools and colleges, notably Khalsa College in Amritsar, founded in 1892, to educate Sikhs in both religious and modern subjects. The Gurdwara reform movement in the early 20th century wrested control of Sikh shrines from corrupt custodians and placed them under elected Sikh bodies. Politically, Sikhs played a prominent role in the Indian independence struggle, for example, by protesting the Rowlatt Act. And the Jallianwala Bagh massacre of 1919 at Amritsar was a pivotal tragedy in a Sikh city, though they also maintained their own communal interests. The partition of India in 1947 was traumatic for Punjab. The British-drawn boundary gave most of West Punjab to Pakistan. Virtually all of the 1 million Sikhs and Hindus in that region fled to Indian East Punjab, while millions of Muslims moved the other way. In the aftermath, about 2 million Sikhs were resettled in India. Punjab in post-1947 India has remained the heartland of Sikhism. Today, about 57% of Punjab's population is Sikh. Large Sikh communities have also formed abroad, notably in Canada, the UK, and the US, through mid-20th century migration. Sikh identity is marked by distinct socio-cultural features. From Guru Amar Das onward, the Gurus insisted on social equality and community service. The langar concept, the free communal meal, pioneered by Amar Das and expanded by Arjan Dev, sits at the center of Sikh practice. Anyone may eat together, regardless of caste or class. The Khalsa creation explicitly outlawed caste distinctions. Gobind Singh S. Casteless, Khalsa, abolished priests and missionaries, known as the Masand system, and proclaimed all Sikhs equal under the Guru. In practice, however, many Sikhs still come from traditional Punjabi communities, such as Jats, Ramgarias, and Khatris, etc. But Sikh doctrine repudiates any hierarchy among them. This social leveling was considered a major innovation in South Asia and remains a hallmark of Sikh community life. Linguistically, Sikhs are Punjabi speakers. The Punjabi language, an Indo-Aryan language, forms the basis of Sikh scripture and liturgy. While other North Indian religions often used Sanskrit or Persian, the Sikh scriptures were chiefly rendered in Gurmukhi, the script popularized by Guru Angad. In modern Pakistan Punjab, Punjabi is written in Gurmukhi script, derived from Persian, but Indian Sikhs exclusively use Gurmukhi. Gurmukhi's standardization helped unite Sikhs culturally. The Sikh scripture, the Guru Granth Sahib, contains hymns in several dialects of Punjabi, as well as Braj Bhasha, Persian, and Sanskrit, reflecting North Indian vernacular and scholarly traditions. Thus, Sikh literature and philosophy have a very Punjabi idiom enriched by Sufi and Bhakti vocabularies. For instance, prayers like Allah Taro Nam show Persian influence, while the egalitarian message resonates with Bhakti saints like Kabir, whose hymns appear in the scripture. Another cultural influence was the adoption of martial traditions. Punjab had a rural, martial society with warrior castes like Jats. The Gurus' militarization in the 17th century transformed many of these agricultural communities into a warrior farmers class. Under Ranjit Singh, Sikh soldiers became famed for their discipline and colorful army. During the British Raj, Punjabis, especially Sikhs, were classified by the colonial state as a martial race and heavily recruited into the British Indian Army, for example, the famed Sikh Regiment. This has had a lasting effect. Military service and valor remain culturally prestigious in many Sikh families today. Religiously, Sikhs blend devotion with a rigorous code. Worship centers on daily recitation from the Guru Granth Sahib, the scripture treated as the eternal Guru. Temples known as Gurdwaras serve as community hubs for prayer, education, and langar. Symbolically, Sikh men who maintain unshorn hair and turbans, and women who keep unshorn hair and wear kara or kanga visibly embody the faith. Sikh doctrine teaches Kirpa, God's grace, Siva, selfless service, and Nam Simran, meditative remembrance of God's name. No emphasis is placed on pilgrimages or idol worship, distinguishing Sikh practice from older Indian religions. In recent decades, genetic studies have shed light on the ancestries of Punjabi populations, including Sikhs. Overall, genetic evidence confirms that Sikhs are not a separate ethnic stock, but share the ancestry of the Northwest Indian population. Autosomal or genome-wide analyses of Punjabi groups indicate a roughly 50-50 mix of ancient ancestral South Asian, local hunter-gatherer plus Iranian farmer, and West Eurasian, steppe ancestry, the same pattern seen in neighboring North Indians. For example, one 2025 genetic study modeling South Asian populations finds that Sikh Jat individuals derive about 50% of their ancestry from an Indus periphery, or an ancient Indus Valley-related source, with the rest coming mainly from steppe-derived Indo-European sources and some Iranian Neolithic ancestry, about an 21%. In other words, Sikhs carry the signature of both pre-Vedic Punjab and later migrations, just like other North Indian groups. Y chromosome, or paternal line, studies likewise show great diversity among Punjabi Sikhs. For instance, a broad survey of Jat males, the largest Sikh caste group, found lineages from at least 9 major haplogroups: E, G, H, I, J, L, Q, R, and T. About 90% of Jats and 75% of other Punjabi groups belong to 4 common haplogroups: J, L, Q, and R. This indicates the Jat-Sikh paternal pool was a mosaic of different migratory streams. Some R, particularly R1A, points to Indo-European ancestry, J and L, to West Eurasian origins, and Q to Central Asia. In sum, no single founding father lineage predominates among Sikhs. Rather, their Y chromosomes reflect the same complex tapestry as other Punjabi castes. Mitochondrial, or maternal, DNA of Punjabi groups also shows mixed heritage. In one study of Muslim Punjabi castes, researchers found a broad scattering of Eurasian mtDNA haplogroups, with signals of both East and West Eurasian lineages. Although that study was on Muslims, similar diversity exists in Punjabi Hindus and Sikhs. Both uniparental and autosomal data thus confirm that Sikhs emerged from the local Punjab gene pool. Even studies that cluster populations find that Punjabi Sikhs tend to group with other Punjabi or Northwest Indian populations. For example, genetic distance and PCA analyses show Jat Sikhs forming a distinct cluster alongside Pakistani Jats and other northwestern South Asians, but separated from more southern Indian groups. In summary, the surprising thing about Sikh genetic origins is not an exotic foreign source, but how thoroughly the community reflects regional ancestry. Ancient DNA from a 2500 BCE Harappan sample shows negligible steppe or Iranian farmer input, meaning the core Indus-derived ancestry has been in Punjab for millennia. The Sikh ancestors inherited that deep layer and added Indo-European or steppe admixture during the Bronze Age, just as their neighbors did. Modern Sikhs thus cluster genetically with other Punjabis. They are primarily a local people shaped by centuries of shared history, not a community with a special genetic mystery. The Punjabi language and region deeply shaped Sikh identity. All Sikh scripture and liturgy is in Punjabi or related vernaculars. Unlike some North Indian faiths that preferred Sanskrit or Persian exclusively, the Sikh Gurus spoke and wrote in Punjabi and Persian when needed, making their teachings directly accessible to the common people. The Gurmukhi script, standardized by Guru Angad, became a badge of Sikh cultural identity. Gurmukhi literally means from the Guru's mouth. Through the centuries, Punjabi in the Sikh context absorbed Persian and Arabic loanwords under Muslim rule, as well as Hindi-influenced vocabularies, giving Sikh religious poetry a rich composite dialect. The multilingual nature of the scripture, with hymns in 22 different dialects, reflects the diverse milieu of medieval Punjab. Regionally, Sikh society incorporated many Punjabi customs and social patterns. Folk music and poetry influenced devotional singing, such as qawwalis adapted to kirtan. The agrarian ethos of Punjab, with its martial clans like Jats and Ramgarhias, contributed to the Khalsa's warrior spirit. At the same time, Sikhism's strict egalitarianism was a marked contrast to traditional caste-based society. The Gurus insisted that even former untouchable castes, like Churas and Majabi, were full equals in the Khalsa. Women, too, were granted new status. The Khalsa initiated them with the name Kaur and outlawed practices like sati and purda among Sikhs. Thus, the socio-cultural synthesis in Sikh origins includes North Indian Nirguna Bhakti, from figures like Kabir, some influence from Indic yogic, and Nath traditions as the Gurus discussed meditation and self-control. Vernacular Punjabi folk traditions, a dash of Persianate courtly culture in language and organization, and the unique martial ethos born of 17th century conflict. No one of these sources was exclusive. Rather, Sikhism creatively blended them. The result was a new panth, or community, whose name means a new path, in keeping with the idea that this was a distinct way of life, not simply a sect within Hinduism or Islam. Indeed, most early Sikhs understood themselves as constituting a separate religious community from the outset. Scholarly sources emphasize both continuity and uniqueness in Sikh origins. Historically, Sikhs are very much native Punjabis. As the Encyclopedia Britannica notes, Sikhism developed from the spiritual teachings of Guru Nanak in Punjab, with subsequent gurus. Modern historians stress that while Sikhs had early roots in the regional Sant tradition taught by saints like Nanak and Kabir, they diverged sharply from Hinduism by rejecting caste and emphasizing one God. At the same time, early Islamic influence on Sikh doctrine was minimal. Sikh monotheism was indigenous in inspiration. Genetically, the surprising finding is simply the continuity of place. The Indo-European or Aryan influence on Punjabi genetics is present in Sikhs, as shown by Y haplogroup R1A, etc., but it is one component among many. Approximately half of Sikh ancestry comes from very ancient South Asian lineages, the Indus Valley farmers and foragers. For example, an analysis of ancient genomes showed a 2500 BCE Harappan with only indigenous ancestry. Modern Sikh Jats in Punjab are modeled as roughly 50% Indus periphery, implying that their Indo-Aryan cultural orientation emerged after significant local continuity. Thus, there is nothing foreign or one-dimensional about Sikh genetic origins. Instead, genetic studies highlight that Sikh communities are as deeply rooted in the subcontinent as any other Indian group. Their historical surprise is not a mysterious lineage, but how a dynamic new religion and community identity arose locally, given the right mix of social teachings and historical conditions. Sikhism's long-term success has been attributed by scholars to its social cohesion, unique institutions like the Khalsa and langar, and its ability to appeal across caste lines. Its foundations were laid in ordinary Punjabi soil, but its impact was extraordinary. In tracing Sikh origins from Guru Nanak's time to today, several themes emerge. Chronologically, Sikhism began as a reform movement within Punjab's pluralistic milieu, matured through the Guru's building of distinctive institutions, and culminated in a sovereign community, the Khalsa Raj, by the early 19th century. Culturally, it drew on the vibrant Sant Bhakti heritage of North India, knitting that together with martial discipline and a new egalitarian doctrine. Genetically, Sikhs are firmly part of the South Asian and Punjabi genetic continuum, with no exotic origin outside the subcontinent. Throughout their history, Sikhs have been shaped by broader South Asian events, from Mughal rule to British colonialism, yet they have retained an identity marked by devotion to the Guru's teachings, the Punjabi language, and the Khalsa code. In summary, the surprising origin of the Sikhs lies in the synthesis of influences rather than any singular source. Far from being a syncretic aberration, Sikhism sprang naturally from its historical context in Punjab, even as it charted a new course. This report has highlighted the objective academic evidence, historical chronicles, contemporary scholarship, and genetic analyses that together illuminate how the Sikh path emerged. The result is a nuanced picture. A 15th century new path, Sikhism, arising in Punjab, founded on local social traditions and expanded by visionary leaders, with modern genetics confirming its rootedness in the land of its birth.